This is Talk 650.
This is Talk 650.
Powered by CBS Radio.
Minutes past the hour on Talk 650, powered by CBS Radio. Good morning. I am Brent Clanton. Stephen K. has the day off. We have Tim and Jim. And in the studio, our sports babe, I don't know if I should call you that or not. Anna-Megan Raley is across the console from me here. Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you as well.
It's always fun to have you in the studio because you bring an interesting perspective to the show.
And I can handle being called sports babe.
Well, it fits well. It's not meant to be demeaning by any stretch of the imagination.
I don't see any other women coming in here to chat sports with you.
That's true.
Or to chat with you.
I'm
just teasing. I'm terrible.
No, I wanted to ask you about a story that's out there. I mean, we've all been watching the big drama this weekend was what was going to happen with the NBA stars, and you know they're throwing like $1 billion at this one kid to go play in Boston. Was that right?
It's Amari Stoudemire, and they gave him $100 million to go play for the Knicks. And this guy...
Well, you have to pay people that much to go play for the Knicks.
What a team. That's a team that 4 seasons from now may be a legitimate franchise, but they are just so terrible. This franchise has gone down the tubes.
Why don't they call it the way it is and make them a farm club for everybody else?
I know, for real. But the only way they can go is up.
Well, that's true. That's like starting a business in a depression.
But of all the guys to be able to sign, everybody's trying to watch what LeBron James is going to do.
That's the guy I was thinking of.
Once he signs, it seems like everything else will fall into place. The Rockets are hoping for Chris Bosh, but there are a lot of teams that are chasing after Chris Bosh.
Did you see the film clip of him this weekend, Chris Bosh, going into a press conference, and he had to duck to get in the door?
He's a big dude.
He had to duck to get underneath the door frame.
But this whole thing... And I'm not a big fan of reality TV. There's not a whole lot of shows on TV that I'm going to get into, I'm going to watch. But this is like watching reality TV. Chris Bosh has his own camera crew following him around.
That's ridiculous.
And he's got his girlfriend with him, and they make sure they kiss right when the camera's right on them. And it's just...
Contrived.
It's very, very contrived. But... just tell everybody where you want to go. I mean, every day this is what we're talking about.
Is he going to have a rose ceremony with all the coaches?
I don't know. But that it seems fitting.
Wouldn't that be?
It seems fitting for as dramatic as they're making this.
Unbelievable.
It's a contract yet to be determined, yet to be signed. But, they have to put their dramatic spin on it and make everybody sit on the edge of their seat wondering.
Well, and then you wonder why. And how old is he?
He's in his late 20s.
Late 20s. How many people do you know in their late 20s have the capacity, have the maturity to deal with A, the fame, and B, the money? You know, I mean, it warps your sense of perspective.
Well, you see a lot of guys, I mean, every day in the news, something pops up, somebody's acting like an idiot, and they're not handling that pressure well. They're not handling that sudden growth in wealth very well. Yeah. But he's one of those, Chris Bosh, and the Rockets are they're really pushing for him. In fact, they're touring around the country following him. They're caravanning, hoping that they will catch his attention.
The Chris Bosh caravan.
They have to have some sort of backup plan because I just don't see that happening.
What, did they present him with an engraved iPod at one stop?
It was actually an iPad, and it was personalized, and I don't know what all, I don't know if it was his picture on it with Rocket stuff everywhere. I don't know, but... they're going to end up having to pay, if they get this guy, they're going to pay like what the Knicks paid Amari Stoudemire, several $1 million. And he's going to get that from whatever team he signs with. So a little bitty computer.
Oh, yeah.
I don't see that swaying somebody's vote on what franchise they choose to sign with.
I see this as a bigger problem, though. And there was the story of DeMarcus Russell over the weekend. The guy gets picked up for drinking codeine and Sprite. Yum. I mean, that's a flavor sensation.
DeMarcus Russell might be, if we took a vote right now, and you had to come up with the top 10 biggest idiots of all the public figures in this country, he'd easily be on that list.
Is he an idiot, or is he a product of an idiotic program? where you treat these kids like they're kings and queens and princes and princesses, and you pay them all this money that they have no way of controlling or having even the slightest idea of how much it is. They just don't have a concept. And this happens year after year after year. You get these people arrested. You told me, what was the statistic you mentioned a moment ago about NFL arrests?
Well, of all NFL arrests, 28% of them are DUI or DWI.
That's shameful. That's shameful.
And what is so shameful is that you're hearing about arrests, and it's all the time.
So the question I want to ask is,
occurrence.
What's the NFL? What's the NBA? What's the MLB? What are they doing to coach and shape and mold these players that they're investing millions of dollars on? And yet they're not getting a return on that investment, as evidenced by the kind of behavior that these people exhibit out on the street.
Well, I think Jamarcus Russell is a rare breed. There has to be something very specifically different for somebody to be that much of an idiot. He was a first overall draft selection. I just don't understand how this guy, and I have some numbers that I thought were pretty interesting, but this guy was the first pick in the draft to the Oakland Raiders in 2007.
Yeah.
And they picked him because he has a cannon. But, a guy with a strong arm and no brain, that's not a great combination. This guy could sit on one end of the football field in the end zone, sitting down on the ground, and he could throw the ball 100 yards. He could throw the ball the distance of the field, but it doesn't mean that he can handle a pressure situation, or he can conduct himself in an orderly manner in a meeting, or be a leader of a franchise that has 52 players dressed out.
That's my point exactly. If they're going to spend that much money on these guys, then you've got the strengthening coach, you got the running coach. Where's the character coach? Where's the guy that teaches these guys how to be upstanding citizens in the community? And I realize there are a lot of them out there who are. There are lots of guys who do a fine job in the community representing their teams, but I think that the professional sports associations have failed these players when you've got 28% of NFL arrests for DUI and DWI.
They've never heard about that law.
Yeah.
I should drink and drive because I make a lot of money.
Yeah, purple drive.
Every professional, even semi-professional leagues, they take their rookies, and they even take their second, maybe even third-year players, and they go through PR training, where sometimes you have to teach these guys how to talk. Here is a question. Answer the question and answer it not like an idiot.
Cogently.
But they get taught. Even more than in a health class, they learn about STDs and they're taught about what groupies are like, and that there's women that will be chasing after them at their hotels when they're on the road or in town. They learn about this sort of stuff, so they will hopefully not have to deal with those potential problems like the STDs, the raunchy women. But then you got a guy like Jamarcus Russell who's made $36.4 million in 2 seasons, 7 wins. That comes out to $5.2 million of victory, and he still doesn't get it.
Not a good ROI.
He's released from the Raiders, and he's sitting at home regretting that choice to have purple drink.
Anna-Megan, always a pleasure to have you on.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks so much. Tomorrow, E.J. Simonson from BustMyBank.com, Barry Siegel, Jim Blake, and Jerry Hobby, plus Stephen K. is back in the booth with us. I'm Brent Clanton on Talk 650, powered by CBS Radio. Have a profitable day.
You're clear.